I think we are now.
Okay, cool.
You would think we would know how to do this by now.
Yeah.
But here we are. We're live. Hello, everyone. Why'd this put this right over top of my face? That's weird. How's everybody doing? Me? Oh, you're asking how I'm doing? Not so good, but it's okay. I have that feeling, and every single person in this chat knows the feeling I'm talking about. I know I'm coming down with something. That's the feeling that I have right now, and it's making me crazy.
Oh.
Because I know it's coming. And I'm not a good sick person. I milk it for all it's worth, don't I?
Yes.
But she takes good care of me. But other than that, I hope everyone is doing super well. I forgot. You need to stop messing. Okay, you're not. I need to pull up our outline here. We got a lot to talk about today. Very exciting topic because of an email. I'm always so thrilled to get an email that makes me say, you know, we can talk about that on the stream.
Yeah, that is nice. And it's a pretty good email.
It is a good one. We're not going to read that just yet because we've got some other things to talk about. No guests today, just us. Not because, you know, the masses weren't calling us up and wanting to get involved. Of course they were, you know, the superstars that we are, but because we just didn't schedule anybody for today. That's why we don't have. I'm not going to put it over there. I'm going to keep it here.
Oh, why? Oh, okay. I see what you're doing.
And I have, yeah. So we got a couple things to talk about. Before we get into it, though, I want to welcome Solar Crafting as a channel member. It looks like a Last of Us avatar, but I'm not sure if that's what it is or not. She would have no idea what that means. Kaylin Shepard said, just got 4 new Oscars. Everyone is adjusting to quarantine nicely. Can't wait to move them to their actual home. 2 wild-caught Colombians and 2 red tigers.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
I'm gonna guess those came from predatory fins. I'm just gonna guess. I hope they came from predatory fins. Let me tell you this. If you are a predatory fins fan, he made an appearance on our podcast. And it's very cool. Now, the episode isn't up yet. Imperial Tropicals. Okay, that's good too.
Yeah, they're good.
I think we'll probably end up talking to Mike Drowdy at some point, maybe getting him on. The cool thing about having this new internet now is that Jason and I have the ability to bring on guests that we weren't able to do before. So it's very exciting, and we're always coming up with new ideas for guests. So it's been fun so far. We've got this next episode coming up is not, we don't have a guest on that one because we don't want to do a guest every week. What are we, Joe Rogan? Even though, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad thing because the guests are really cool. But this week coming up is not a guest. But then the following 2 weeks after that, we've got Rod from Predatory Fins and Darius from Northfin Fish Foods. Let me tell you something. I learned things about fish food that day. It was amazing. She hasn't heard the conversation yet.
No, but I'm excited to hear about it because it sounds like it's going to be awesome.
It was a really good talk. It was a lot of fun, and I can't wait for y'all to see that Tank Talk podcast. I believe I've got the Tank Talk podcast in the description of this live stream. Check that out if you like to have some long-term listening while you're packing snails or whatever it is that you're doing. It's a good way to pass the time with me and Jason. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I tell you what, like Christmas, the week of Christmas and New Year's.
You got backed up.
Yeah, so yeah, I was able to catch up, and it was really nice having it back to back. I was like, woo! It's almost 3 hours worth. But Marine Josh, no, this is not a Squid Games shirt. This is a Swiftie shirt.
Squid Games. I have not considered Squid Game season 2 yet.
Did you watch the first one?
Of course I did. It was great.
I never watched that either.
I don't know if I'm gonna watch the second season. I guess I'll have to see what everyone's saying about it, because The first season was so good, and I'm like, it's kind of like I don't feel like they should have made a second season. I think that was, I don't know, it would just leave it alone. That's, it's like they didn't make a sequel to E.T., which makes sense. You don't need to. It was great on its own. Leave it alone. I feel like Squid Game was one of those, but we'll see. If everybody says it's good, then maybe I'll check it out. ICYYJ, 99 cents with nothing else to say except for a cute dog that looks kind of like Reacher.
Yeah. Hopefully better, though.
Thank you so
Behaving.
much, ICJ. Yeah, Reacher is still misbehaved. And Finsanity gifted 5 memberships. Wow.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe, for that. Should we do Fish Tank News first or I love the comment section? Both are good. Fish Tank News is you just don't know it yet. And I love the comment section is fun. Which one you want to do?
Which one are you doing?
I'm not going to,
I've got some that I've screenshotted.
I'm not going to switch cameras and all that kind of stuff because I'm just not feeling it tonight. I know I'm on the verge of something. I know I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning and feel like total.
You have to think positive.
I'm 50 years old. I've experienced this enough.
Mary Knowlton,
Oh,
I see you. I actually just shipped something to you today
yes, indeed.
for your husband.
It was a little late.
Sorry
Supposed to be
about
shipped
that.
out last Friday, but
Well, we've had a super busy week. It has been the busiest, I think, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday we've ever had. So, a lot of catching up.
yeah, making up for the holidays and the funeral
Weather.
of Jimmy Carter and the
Oh.
weather, and
Yeah.
it was a nightmare. So you know what? Let's do this because it has to do with that. Let's do Fish Tank News first. You don't know it yet, but you're basically doing it, and then we will get into the I love the comment section. Then we'll get to the main topic. It's a lot of fun today.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
You have man boobs.
You poop out! Poop out your mouth!
Oh, my apologies.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
I'm Ron Burgundy. Go,
Click subscribe.
San Diego.
Ha. Where the guy screams at the end is the best part. Okay, so Fish Tank News has to do with shipping snails. So here's the thing, folks. What I want to do is I want to hypothetically give you the contents of an email, and I'd like you to respond to that. Because this is not one of those things where we're making fun of anybody or we're angry with anybody or anything like that. It's just a very common thing, and she will probably be a whole lot nicer with explaining everything than I would. So the email goes like this. John, Lisa, very excited. I just received my order of snails from you, and I just put them in the tank. It's been like an hour, and of the 6 snails that we got, 3 of them are exploring around the tank, and the other 3, they haven't moved yet. They're still just kind of sitting there on the bottom. I think they're dead. What should we do? That's common. We get it a lot.
We get it. I mean, we're not like picking on anybody. It's
No.
just, it happens to be a question sometimes. But, some snails just don't start moving around right away and they're really shy. I've noticed that happens especially with like the rabbit snails or the Prambanan snails, sometimes even the trapdoors or the piano snails. But the mystery snails and the ram's horn snails are usually the ones that start moving around quicker. But some I have found just don't want to come out and explore right away. They've been through, a couple days in a bag of water. Their box may have been thrown around. We don't know what's happened between
Most likely
here.
was.
They're stressed out. They need to, acclimate to their new environment, to the new water perimeters, maybe just being in a quiet place possibly at first, and sometimes they're just shy and don't want to come out right away because there could be fish zooming around in there and they're like, ah, and they just stay in, and they don't come out right away. So it's not something to freak out about at first. I do believe that people do the right thing by saying something immediately. So there's a timeline, maybe we can help them through it so they don't just toss a snail away thinking it's dead and it's just not ready to come out of its shell yet. But I think too that I like it when people let me know immediately, because if we get an email 3 days later, hey, my snail died, how do we know it wasn't your water, or you're just saying that to get, money back or something? You can't trust that everyone's always going to be truthful. You want to believe that they will be, but not always. So I don't mind getting the emails.
I'm not saying I mind it. I'm just trying to help maybe ease people's minds a little bit.
Definitely.
If this happens, to
Give
not
them
panic.
a little time. Definitely document, and just or email first. Let us know. I'll document it. And then the next day, let me know, how are things? And we might be going 2 days. If that snail doesn't stink, like it's disgusting, or its trapdoor and body hasn't fallen out of, the shell, there's a possibility that snail's just being shy.
Corey Dora brings it up, just said what you said. If it smells dead, it's dead. If it smells like anything else, leave it alone. It's very true.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Here's the biggest reason why I bring this up. Sometimes people send that email to us and they're right. The snail didn't make it. It sucks, but we can't have 100% success rate with these. We send out probably 1,000 snails a week, and you think I'm kidding? Come here on a Monday and spend some time here, and you'll see.
My hands are like, ugh.
This poor lady.
I'm tying and tying, and then I double bag, and it's like, but yeah.
She would come out of that snail room Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and her hands would be like this, and I'd be like, what's the big deal? I mean, I was packing all day too, but I don't have to do that. I just, it's easier
I told
packing
you yesterday
plants.
morning, I woke up in the middle of the night with the tips of my fingers hurting. They were in so much pain. And then I'll wake up randomly in the middle of the night and my fingers are asleep. Like they're just asleep, and I have to do this to get them to circulate more.
I think that's old age.
Anyway, shut up.
But yeah, you know what? The whole purpose of bringing this up is so many times I've gotten that email, and fortunately for me, she's kind of stepped in and she's taking care of the snail orders or the snail emails. But for so long I was doing it just because I didn't feel like telling her, hey, there's a snail email. So I dealt with this all the time, and more times than I could even count. That I've said to them, whatever you do, don't throw it away. If it stinks, okay, it's over. But
obviously,
if it doesn't stink, just let it be in the tank for a little bit. I bet you're going to wake up tomorrow morning and you're not going to know where it is because it's exploring around the tank. And probably 95% of the time, that's exactly what happens. And so I just wanted to make everybody aware, whether you order from us or anyone, it doesn't matter. If you get snails, even if you take them at the fish store, you bring them straight home and put them in your tank, there's a real good chance they might close up a little bit until they feel safe, and then they can come back out. It's a defense mechanism for them. So don't panic unless it's been a few days. But you know what? We've even had them at a few days, and they still come out.
Yeah. Somebody messaged me once, and she was like, I don't think either one of them made it. And, I'm like, there's a couple different things you can do. If, like I said, the trapdoor is still on there, it doesn't stink. Just stick it in a spot in your tank, leave it alone, see if it's moved the next day. If it's moved, it's okay, it's moving around. Or I've even, because my snail room is heated, I'll put them in like a container with this much water and just sit them in there. Because if they do end up dying, you don't want to contaminate your water and have it all nasty either. So, I like doing that too. But one of the people that I talked to today, I said, put a piece of Cat's Aquatics down and put the snail on top of it. And just
That'll entice it.
let me know what happens tomorrow, because they'll come right out for that. So
Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes things don't go well and it doesn't work out, and that sucks. But, you know, the majority of the time, they just need a little bit of time. So, Kaylin Shepard said you should hire someone to help, nothing else, someone to help pack orders. Yeah, I mean, we're not far from that. It's needed at this point, especially with what I got going on that's going to be happening very soon. It's taking up a lot of my brain space. See, I'm going to be working on it in off hours, but getting ready to start a massive project on the house. And I'm going to be documenting it all on the Money Pit channel. I've got that in the description too. If you're interested in home improvement type stuff, not Tim Allen. I wish I was as funny as Tim Allen, but home renovation type stuff, subscribe to that channel. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
And I did something super exciting with my channel, Roots and Whiskers. Not that I've uploaded a video to it yet, but recently, I mean, I went and I bought the domain Roots and Whiskers, because, you know, there's a bunch of jerks out there that like to steal people's domains. Not going to say any names, but I did that, and I have a website that I'm working on so that it can be like an adoption website, and I can post all the kitties and what's happening and link little videos to each cat and show what's happening in the barn since they're not out there yet. And I have an email, so that's exciting for Roots and Whiskers. It'll be lisa@rootsandwhiskers.com. So yeah, that's exciting. I'm really excited about that.
It's very exciting. So yeah, we both got extracurricular activities that we're going to be working on. And, you know,
that's
when it
not
comes
fish
to
related.
when it comes to my extracurricular activity on your project, I'm done with my part.
No, you're not. The door.
Oh, that'll take me 5 minutes. You got to get the cats in there first. Anyway, listen. Solar Crafting said, thanks to this channel, I've been able to start the hobby with almost no real large issues. Thank you. Wow. Well, congratulations to you, because that is a rare story that you rarely hear, because this is a hobby that most people struggle with in the beginning. That's why, well, quite frankly, that's why we're able to make a living, because we can educate people on how to get through that. So I'm glad we were able to help you.
Try our best.
Dennis gifted 5 memberships. That's what he does every week. Thank you, Dennis. You pay our car payment every month. It's crazy.
And thank you for participating in the Tank Talk Facebook page. There's a few people on here that do. Melissa Jeswald is a moderator too on Tank Talk Facebook page, and I see Jerry Goebel in there all the time, and Curtis Crump. So it's awesome. Thanks for being in there, Dennis.
Wish I could be on there more, but you know, Facebook scares me. Luke Abbott, learned everything I know from you guys in Primetime Aquatics. Y'all are awesome. Keep it going. That's my favorite thing in the world to hear, because, well, we're podcast partners, and that's why. I mean, him and I, whenever we go to Aquashellas, I guess we should mention Aquashella coming up. We're always, it's all day long. They come up to us. It's you, it's Aquarium Co-op, it's Primetime Aquatics. Or if they're talking to Jason, it's you, it's KG Tropicals, it's Aquarium Co-op. And that's amazing. I mean, I love that so much. And that's why when I knew I had to bring in a podcast partner and she wasn't going to do it because she's got 8 million things she's doing, there was only one person to ask. So
I think it's funny when we go to these events, and if I'm standing with Jason or you're standing with Joanna, it's just hilarious, because
the look on people's face, they're like,
I know she's with one of the ball guys, but you know, I don't know which one. But I've had people, like the one time Jason was on stage doing a talk, and somebody came up to me talking to me thinking I was Joanna about how much they liked what me and Jason were doing. And I'm like, that's not my husband, that's her husband. And I pointed to Joanna. It was hilarious.
That happens to me too. It's fun. HHD, Katie and I playing a round of darts with you two is on my bucket list. 501 or cricket. If cricket, beware. Either one, my friend. You roll the dice. Go right ahead. No, I'm not going to claim to be a pro, but you know.
Congratulations on the new baby. I did not see that coming.
Hey,
When a baby popped up one day, I was like, what? I didn't even know she was pregnant.
compliments to the wife then. Yeah, you know, I don't get to play darts as much anymore. I hurt my shoulder. The dog hurt my shoulder. But I've been playing. You want to play me at darts? The Dart Counter app. I use that, and I play online. It's actually really fun. I have my iPad up on a tripod, and you put your dartboard on a webcam. It uses the iPad's webcam. You can do it with your phone or whatever, and you can play people online. It's really fun.
I was like, is that like okay to do? Do you see the people?
I have not seen one person. It's only the dartboard, and then you see the person's hand come up and take the darts. But it's fun. I'm not going to claim to be a good dart player, though. I love to play. She doesn't play with me anymore, and it hurts my feelings. But that is what it is. Okay, let's get to the I love the comment section. This one is a doozy.
Oh.
All right. I love the comment section is where I go and I go through our comments and torture myself for a bit. And I don't always pick bad ones. I don't always pick happy ones. Sometimes they're controversial. Sometimes they're silly or zany or goofy or scary. Today's, I don't know. This guy, I guess, is trying to insult me, but...
Well, this is a new one because I haven't heard about it. If it's something funny or controversial or rude, I will screenshot them and I'll send them to Zen. I'm like, this is comment of the day. So she gets to see a lot of those too.
So I'm not going to say names because I'm not trying to pick on anybody, and the person might even be here. If you are in here, the person who wrote this, you're going to know because you're going to remember.
Huh.
It says, newbie to the hobby. This was one day ago. Newbie to the hobby and enjoy your channel. I've learned lots from you, but this is BS. Okay, I think I have to set the tone here or set the context of this. This was on a video, I don't recall the title because I'm stupid, that was about shipping fish. Is it safe to buy fish online? And it might have even been a live stream. I'm not even 100% sure, but that's where this came from. Experts in the hobby go on with holier than thou preaching about cycling tanks, doing fishless cycling, setting up tank properly, stocking right, quarantining fish, being prepared for outages, sicknesses, etc., but are also cool with sending fish in Amazon-style packages for several days. Exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, question mark. Common. All right, he's a rapper, isn't he? He was on that show. Just because they were treated badly getting shipped to the fish store, it doesn't excuse making it worse for them again, all caps, by shipping further by online orders. So many hypocrites in this hobby. Yeah. So.
Does it go on?
No.
That's it?
That's it. So what we have here is somebody that is new to the hobby, and
Are they?
well, it said newbie to the hobby and enjoy your channel, but reading the name, I can't tell. A lot of times you can tell if it's a young person because it would be like Caleb, Tyler, Keegan, you know what I'm saying? Like the trendy names that are young people names. I'm not making fun of those names. Those are great names. I'm just saying, it's when somebody says newbie to the hobby and spells it newbie, I automatically assume that is a young person. I can't see a retired, sailor that's 71 years old typing newbie, I just can't see that. But, obviously this person hasn't quite gotten a grasp on how this industry of ours works yet. Because I've said it before. First of all, I don't know who you're ordering fish from that sell fish and ship them to you in Amazon boxes. Okay, listen. This is a person that's never ordered fish online before. Because we've ordered fish online from several companies. I've watched countless unboxing videos from other companies. I have never in my 50 years, I've been doing this for a long time, but not 50 years, but I've never seen someone ship a fish in an Amazon box without insulation and all of that kind of stuff. I've never seen it. So I don't know who you're ordering from. If you ordered from someone and it came to you in an Amazon style box, well, you picked the wrong place. But I'm sorry, go ahead. You interrupt. I don't care.
I feel like this person is watching all these videos, learning all this stuff, and then they're just upset thinking, you know, these fish, I mean, you do all this awesome stuff to do the right thing for fish, but then you turn around and you order them online. Like, it's the worst thing in the world to do. Instead, you should be going to the fish store and getting them.
I don't disagree with that.
But, no, I don't disagree either. But I do think there might be some misconception there, and they just don't understand. You do have your situations where ordering fish online is a nightmare. It was a terrible experience.
Sure.
Somebody could have had the worst experience of their life and made them just want to quit the hobby, you know. But most times, people have a good experience.
And there are equally as many stories that are exactly the same, except it's I brought them home from the fish store and everything went badly.
And they get shipped there too, so.
I mean, this is somebody who just hasn't quite gotten to the point where he understands that this kind of thing is commonplace in our world today. It doesn't matter what small animal hobby you're into, if it's lizards, if it's snakes, if it's turtles, if it's aquariums. This is very, very common. Chickens. You want to order chickens?
Oh, yeah, I've heard
You can
about
order all
that.
the chicks you want online. I mean, the Postal Service has a special way of handling them. I mean, it's crazy.
You can order chicks online. That's funny.
I wanted to do that. I wanted to go one day to you and say, I'm going to go order some chicks online just to see your reaction. But we're not ready for chickens yet. But no, it's, you know, if you're a newbie to the hobby, maybe stay away from commenting as if you know better than other people. I'm not saying your opinion is wrong. You can have your opinion. But I think your opinion is based on misinformation because you're saying people are shipping it in Amazon style packages. They don't. I've never seen anybody do that. So
Well, if somebody is just doing it in the hobby and it's a hobbyist bred fish and they've never shipped fish, like they don't ship fish all the time, you know, they don't do it for a living. They're just shipping it to a friend, you know, maybe they'll use an Amazon box and they, you know, maybe somebody has watched a video like that. People do unboxing videos all the time. So
I don't know anybody that's using those boxes. Yeah, you're right. I mean,
I'm not talking about
a friend that's shipping to another
that's what I
friend, and
mean.
that's the box that they had.
And then they did an unboxing of it. That
Whatever.
could be.
I mean, if that's the case, then fine. But that's not the norm.
Yeah.
Most companies that are shipping fish are spending a lot of money on their boxes. And I know this because I've bought those boxes, and they're not cheap. So, yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Finsanity, John, this is a $5 super chat, as if Joe doesn't do enough for us. I want to repurpose an old AC hang on the back in my Oscar tank with the sole purpose of putting, he spelled putting wrong. Gotta break your balls, Joe. Putting plants in it, how would you do it in a bare bottom tank?
Oh, that's interesting. So, okay.
So you're wanting to just put plants in the box of the
That's a good idea.
Aquaclear.
Yeah, just I wouldn't put any of the media in it. Just stick the plants.
No, I
in
mean
there.
if you
Or maybe just to kind of keep the roots down in there, but then the roots will start growing in the spongy.
I mean you could put put the soil in the back of a. Well, no, it would get rustled up. No, you don't want to do that.
Make mud.
Yeah, forget that I said that. Edit that out. Cut. Let's do that over again. You could put gravel in there, though. You could put gravel in there.
Yeah, definitely.
And the water would flow through it, and it would hold the plants down. And, I mean, you really don't have to do anything.
With the pond. I did that in the pond with the lily things. The specific, or there were certain kinds
one of
of
those
lilies.
lilies.
Yeah, so I got a pot and I stuck the like big bulb from the lily down in there, and then I filled it up with gravel, not gravel, but like pea gravel, and then it made it heavy and it made it to where it sat down in there, and yeah.
And it did fine. It did perfectly fine, even in a tank full of fish like goldfish that like to, not tank, but pond, that like to eat plants. And that's the number one concern when you're talking about an Oscar tank. Not necessarily that they're going to eat the plants, but they're just going to play with them and pull them out. If they're up in the hang on the back filter, they can't even access that. So it's really a non-issue.
I really like that idea, Joe. That's a really good idea. And then you're not just throwing away a perfectly good filter either. It's being repurposed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the idea. It is running another motor. I know you have a fish room with a lot of tanks in there. It's like, I hope you have enough plugs for all of that. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly doable. I too have never heard of anybody doing that. I've only heard of people just dangling them in the tank. But again, in an Oscar tank, they would tug on that and end up just completely destroying it. So
I mean, I do
it's
that
a good idea.
In my goldfish tank.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So, I mean, how would I do that? I would just do it. You don't really need to do anything special with it. Just put some pea gravel in there, put the plants in there, and just let them do their thing. Let it run. I think it's a fun idea. Maybe she'll try it one of these days. I'm considering doing a video about hang on the back filters. I don't know how I could work that in, but I'd figure out some kind of a way. I don't know. Audrey Paquette, watching you guys and chilling with Zero, my beta fish, is my favorite way to spend a Thursday night.
Aw, hey Audrey.
Well, we love spending Thursday night with you too. Jay Oliver's Guppies and Aquatics.
She's a North Carolinian.
As many packages as we've shipped to her, I'm surprised I didn't remember that. Jay Oliver for the $10 super chat.
Hey,
Thank you so much
Jay.
for that. I hope you guys and everyone in the chat are doing well. Doing fantastic. Are you still going to be working with Aquashella? Because Aquashella just announced, today?
Yeah.
3 dates for
Saw a few people mention it.
2025. Yeah, a couple people mentioned it earlier. Pretty exciting. 2 brand new cities. Dallas would be the first one. I don't have the dates in my head.
It's May.
May in Dallas. I think it's at the same place that it's been the last few years, which is a great place for having that event. And then they're doing New Jersey.
I like Jersey. It's at the same place as the Aquatic Expo was.
No, it's not.
I believe it is.
No, it's not.
Are you
You're
sure?
wrong. You're definitely wrong.
Oh, I can't be wrong.
I love it when you're wrong because
Dang it. I thought
it
was.
is at the Pomona Fairplex.
That's
October,
awesome.
that's Los Angeles, my bad. New Jersey Convention Center.
I thought that was
Sorry, I spoiled LA. No, that was at the.
Schaumburg something.
No, that's Chicago.
Yeah,
It was
Chicago.
at the. I'm not going to look at the chat because I don't want anybody to spoil it for me.
I'll look.
Meadowlands.
Oh,
The Meadowlands something.
yeah.
It was in the Meadowlands before.
But I like that. That was fun. That
Yeah.
was a lot of fun.
And what was that place called? The Meadowlands something. But then in October, that's September 6th and 7th. And then October 25th and 26th, Los Angeles, California. That will be very interesting, considering what's happening there right now.
I think San Diego would have been better. But
Well,
I'm not
particularly right now, I'm not trying to make a joke of it, but there's a lot going on in LA right now that
I know.
That's
so sad.
sad, and it is horrifying. I watched a video today of a guy on a motorcycle riding through, and it just looked like downtown Beirut. I mean, it was terrifying. I feel for anyone that's in Los Angeles. I mean, what an absolute nightmare. So I know Los Angeles is a big place, though. So, maybe it's not where the fires are happening, but I'm sure it's not.
The couple times I've been to LA, it always seems like the sky is hazy. It's always been that way. I mean, when I've gone, so it's like, I can't imagine what it would be like now.
Yeah, it's pretty scary, but it's possible they had booked the date before all this. I'm assuming they booked the date
so too.
before all that happened, and maybe that might have to change. I don't know, because if it was damaged in the fires, they're not going to have it ready by October. But that's exciting that they're branching out to new cities and trying new things. People have been begging for a California Aquashella for years.
So I think that, LA's fine. I'm not going to complain about that because I'm glad to see that they're doing one on the West Coast. I think it's awesome.
It's a cool idea. I mean, there's going to be, that would be, well, in New York too, we would be able to go to those. We haven't committed to going to them or even discussed. We just got that notification today. We'd be able to see new people. And listen, sounds bad, but
it gives other people the opportunity to be there from other places.
Right. When we went to Dallas, well, you missed one, but no, you didn't miss a Dallas, did you?
Yeah.
You missed a Dallas and a Florida.
When we moved here.
Yeah. I was in Dallas like 4 years in a row, and it's like, it was no longer a big deal for people to come in and see me and Jason standing there because we're there every time. You know what I mean? And we would see the same people all the time. And it was nice. It was, of course, nice to see these people, but you start to wonder, are they going to keep coming every single year? So with it being in two different places, then that gives opportunity for a lot of people that, maybe are in New England and didn't want to go all the way down to Florida or all the way to Chicago or something like that.
And we
it's
could
cool.
drive to New Jersey. We passed through New Jersey a few months ago.
And if we do, we got to go see Bill while we're up there.
Oh, well, maybe we could get Bill to come.
Yeah. We haven't committed to going yet, but we'll have to see.
We have to go to New Jersey, especially if we're just driving.
Well, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't, but you're the one that usually says we can't. It's not me. So
what? I don't say we can't. It's just that business is business, and we got to keep
we
running
have
our
to
business.
put our situation first. There's no doubt about that. But I did enjoy going to the Meadowlands for the aquatic experience those 2 years. That was a lot of fun.
That was lots of
Pick
fun.
me up on the way. You talking to me, Gordon?
I think
You think I'm going to detour 8 hours to go up to where you're at? And I don't know where you're at up there north of the border, but I don't even have a passport. I can't come get you. Maybe you're talking to somebody in the chat to stop by and pick you up, but no.
Because you'll have to go over the border and sit on the curb and wait for us.
See, when we saw you in New York, you came down to New York. We went up to New York. So for us to pick you up on the way, it ain't happening. I like you, but no, it's not happening. OnlyFins, here's some money. OnlyFins Fish, $2 super chat. Here's some money. That's all. Thank you for that. Oinkmaster Supreme forever. Any advice for keeping crayfish? My well water could be mistaken for being sourced from a mountain quarry, high in pH, minerals, etc., in pipes from the 1800s. I know how that works. I'm under my house fixing those all the time. I have never kept a crayfish.
Me either, but if pipes from the 1800s, I would assume they're metal.
Copper.
And if they have copper in it, that's, not really good for invertebrates. So maybe source your water, go to the store and get the water out of a jug.
That sounds crazy, but we've done it.
Yeah, we've done it.
We went to Walmart and would pay what was it, like 10 cents a gallon or something? It was absurdly
No,
cheap.
It was a little more than that. But you could bring if you brought
Your own jugs, yeah.
Yeah, it was a little cheaper. So
It was fun. No, it wasn't fun. I don't know why I just said that. It wasn't fun at all, mainly because people looked at us funny because we'd be pushing the cart up with like 26-gallon jugs of water in it that we just felt.
Yeah, we're
just filled up in the back.
just really thirsty people.
Listen, we're going to move on to the main topic here, but I want to encourage you to participate in the true or false.
Well, I was corrected. Crays take copper, no issues. Crawls hate copper. See, I don't know enough. I
Yeah, there
probably
you go.
should have said ask somebody that knows for sure. I was just kind of going along with it as if like snails don't like it.
Would you guys consider keeping turtles? I like turtles.
I want a cicada.
I'm like that little kid. I like turtles. I don't want to commit to incorporating a sulcata into our will, but I like sulcatas too.
Me
They're adorable.
too.
She wants one really bad.
I want that
but
one little one from.
I think that one's
Aquariums
probably gone by now. We're going to move on to the main topic before we go off track here with turtles. But don't forget to participate in the true or false question, or not question, but statement. You can have a planted tank and not use fertilizer in a bottle. I'm not going to give you the results of the because you can't see the results. I can see the results. She can see them.
Mm-hmm.
But your options are true, false, or depends on the
I
situation.
think people. Are you sure other people can't see the results?
I'm pretty sure no one can see it. I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't think you can because I've seen them in other chats and I couldn't see it.
Oh.
If you got a pond in NC, you'll eventually get turtles. Yeah, we haven't had any yet because we have a pond that is surrounded by 75 acres of desert.
Yeah, they can see.
So-
Yes, we can. We
Oh, you can see it? Okay.
Huh.
Well, then you're not cheating after all. Sorry, I thought I was keeping it in suspense.
That's funny.
I want to get to the main topic here. We don't have a fancy, what you call it? Transition for the main topic because we don't do these often. But I got this email yesterday and I don't know. It just struck me as something worthy of talking about here tonight.
Oh, yeah, this is a good email.
It is a long one, so bear with me. But yeah, here we go. And it was from Sarah B. And that's what it says on the email. It says Sarah B. But she is here. She said she was going to be here tonight in under a different name. Sarah Elizabeth, I believe, is what she said. But
did you talk to her about talking about it?
Yep, and Whip is showing me. But is that because you're a moderator, Whip?
No, everybody could see
Okay,
it.
fine. Well, all you got to do is do it right there, and you can see it. Goofball.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're a moderator too.
Yeah.
Who cares? You can see the results. So what?
That-
But Sarah B is her name. But it is about an aquarium store. I am not going to say the name of the aquarium store because, well, you'll understand when we talk about it.
Oh.
I was at my local fish store, which I have been going to since 2022. Let me move this so I can see it better. Bought my first tank and supplies from them. 38-gallon community tank with Fluval 307, live plants. Love my community fish. I was in the store buying some frozen food for my fish and walked by the Betta display. I say Betta, you say Betta, get over it. My boyfriend, she didn't write that. I said that to whoever's listening to me right now.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be funny if she said that?
Yeah.
My boyfriend and I noticed a fish laying on the bottom upside down. Thought he was dead until I grabbed the container and he swam, then sank and went upside down again. After some back and forth, don't take him thoughts, we took him.
Aww.
We got him home and I immediately started acclimating him and getting him a small breeder box because he was so weak. Grabbed water from my current Betta tank, which has tannins in it, some guppy grass I have in a shrimp tank, and an air stone, and got him in it. He's so skinny, and he's mostly just laying in the bottom and hasn't eaten, but I get it.
Aww.
Like I said, this is a long one. No offense, Sarah, but it's a long one. As I was cleaning up from that, I thought, let me piss myself off more and test the water in the cup he came in. As you can probably guess, the parameters were through the roof. She sent me photos of the test results, and yes, they were indeed through the roof. If you want to know what her fish looked like, the thumbnail of this video, of this live stream, was the photo that she sent me of her fish. As you can probably, I already did that. I just tested the ammonia and nitrite because that's all I needed to see. I decided to message the pet store, and it sounds like they blew me off. I wasn't being mean about it, just expressing my disappointment, and even gave them an out by saying maybe it got missed on water change day. I will copy what I sent to them and the response, but my question for you is, am I overreacting? And does no one care anymore? You were wondering where the title for today's stream came from. I was so upset. They stated that some fish do worse than others, but this seems like negligence on their part. I will also send the picture of the test for the fish. Her message to them: good morning. I want to start off by saying I am in no way intending to come off mean or looking for anything for free or a refund or anything like that. This is just to simply make you aware of an issue I found. I was in your store last night purchasing some frozen fish food for my fish. As I was walking out, I noticed the bettas near the front of the store. One in particular was on the bottom of the cup, not too uncommon as bettas do lay down. Only this one was upside down. Also, he was swimming upside down. I decided after a bit of back and forth thoughts to take him, and as I have an extra tank that is cycled and empty. Upon arriving home, I saw that he was too skinny and weak to go directly into the tank. He is currently in a half-filled small breeder box with some guppy grass and air stone. Water out of my current betta tank contains tannins that is about 80 to 81 degrees. After setting all that up, I decided to further piss myself off and test the water in the cup he came in. The ammonia and nitrites were appallingly high. Didn't bother checking the other parameters because that's all I needed to see, picture included. I always held fish store, to not be named, to a higher standard than a big box store. The store always seems clean. The employees are very nice and polite. I enjoy coming to the store. I've purchased several tanks, supplies, and fish from there. I even recommend the store to coworkers looking to start up a tank. It seems the mark was really missed here. I know it's just a fish, but as a pet store, the quality of life for any animal should be a top priority. Maybe the water is changed in the cups and this one just got missed like every time since it arrived. Somehow the betta made it through the night, but he might be too far gone to make a recovery at this point. There are several other ways to keep bettas besides in cups. It would just take some time and money to make a great betta system to set you apart from most other pet stores in the area. Proper food, water changes, proper temperatures, maybe even some tannins. I know it's easy to type all this behind a keyboard, and as someone in the process of starting their own business, I definitely understand the money isn't always there. I apologize for contacting you in this format, but I work odd hours and I couldn't find an email. Don't feel the need to respond. Like I said, I'm not looking for anything. I just wanted to make you aware of the situation. Then, the response from that fish store was, "Hi, Sarah. Unfortunately, some bettas just do better than others. As all of our bettas are treated the same, we change water frequently and feed regularly. In the aquarium world, sometimes fish get sick and there's not much we can do about it, even with treatment. I hope this helps." Now, that was the end of their response to her. And then she says, "So I feel like they were telling me to kick rocks nicely, not even nicely. The hope this helps gets me." So, and then she typed up a couple other things, but it was just like, "Hey, thank you," and blah, blah, blah. So no need to include that here. So I know that was really long, but to summarize, her and her boyfriend were in the store. They saw a betta. It was in a cup upside down, obviously on its way out, and they decided to attempt to rescue that fish. Sadly, she did email this morning to let us know that the fish did in fact pass. Actually, it was in my response because I emailed her saying, "Hey, I'm going to talk about this tonight." And she said, "Go right ahead." and told me the sad news there. So she emailed the store to let them know what was going on. They responded, and it comes across as kind of a throwaway, kind of like, it happens. And Sarah doesn't like that kind of response. And I totally understand. I totally understand her not liking that response. Now, the part that you're probably not going to like, Sarah, is that I completely understand the way they responded to you too. And that's not me trying to pick on you or be mean. That's me saying, I've been there. I've owned a fish store, and I know what goes on every day and how absolutely chaotic and hectic it can get. And sometimes things can get missed. If you, and I don't mean Sarah, I'm not just talking to Sarah here. I'm talking to everybody. If you don't think bettas sometimes die in cups at the fish store, you're crazy. I mean, because they do. And, you know, we had, when it was up and running, an amazing betta system with everything you could ever ask for in a betta system, constantly flowing through water. It was heated. The fish were spoiled to death by this woman, and we would still occasionally have fish not make it. It just happens.
Not because they were sick with diseases or their water perimeters were through the roof. You know, it was never anything like that. Maybe a female betta that got egg bound. You know,
I mean, things happen.
But it wasn't the same scenario. I believe if you have bettas in cups out on the floor for everybody to see when they come in, they should be healthy. They should look healthy. If you're treating them, do it in the back room. Don't do it where everybody could see it, you know, and do it right. Don't just throw it back there and say you're treating it and you're just making it to where no one sees it, but treat it in the back room. You know, it's just, and when bettas are in cups at fish stores, whatever the temperature is in that store is the temperature that fish is gonna be at too. You walk in there, it's cold, or the place where they're kept is by a door, they're gonna be cold. I do think that people need to be a little bit more cautious. If they're gonna sell bettas, do it the right way. So
I mean, I completely agree. However, I also understand having, and you too, having been a fish store owner. The thing is, I'm gonna level with y'all. When we set up our betta system, that system cost about $5,000. Okay, $3,500 just for the tanks to order those manufactured in China, because to get them made in the United States would have been $20,000. So the point I'm trying to make is we all wish that fish stores would do better with bettas. Some of them have the Aqua One systems, which is very similar to the system that I set up, where it's the individual 1 gallon cubes, or they're like half-gallon cubes, and they have heat in them and lights, and it's a fancy display. But those are $1,000 a piece, and that's wholesale for 32 bettas. So, and it takes up an immense amount of room. So it's tough from the angle of the fish store to do the right thing by bettas. I wish we all did. I wish everybody had a system like we did. But I also understand that there's not much money in bettas. And that's how, I mean, the bettas that you see in fish stores, 99% of the bettas that you see in fish stores were bred in a liquor bottle somewhere in Thailand or Indonesia or Vietnam. And that's all they've ever known. They haven't even seen daylight except for one little bit of late daylight that comes through the top of the liquor bottle. And the guys literally walk on the tops of the liquor bottles going through, feeding the fish occasionally. It's not an easy way to grow up for these fish. So they have not been treated right at all their entire life. And then they get into these little cups and they're not well. I mean, I'm not saying every single one of them is this way, but the weaker ones are going to struggle. And then you put them in a 72-degree shop in 72-degree water. And
That's if you're lucky.
right. I mean, right now, she said they're by the door. I don't know where she's at, but you know, if you're anywhere east of the Mississippi right now, even in the South, and it's right near the door, good Lord, the water's probably 40 degrees because the door keeps opening and letting all that cold air in. So
Yeah, that's sad.
it sucks. It
And
really
then if they're
sucks.
feeding them a bunch, then it's just making it worse because the colder the beta is, the less likely it's going to eat, and it's not going to be able to digest the food properly, and it's just going to get sick.
Everything is working against the fish, and it sucks. I really wish that fish stores, and I've said this to so many, and I've never had a fish store say to me, you know, I'll be damned, that's a good idea. Think about it. You go to the fish store and you see they've got a little shelf that has like 24 betas in cups, right? Mm-hmm. Go to that fish store and walk around and count their tanks that they have community fish in. The tetras, the barbs, the danios, they could take those betas and put one in each of those tanks.
As long as it's not a long fin one.
Or a Oscar tank or an African cichlid tank. I mean, common sense here, but
because you don't want them to get nipped either.
of course not. But even then,
put a single female on each one. I don't like going to like Petco's or PetSmarts and seeing them put 7 or 8 female betas in a 10-gallon tank with rummy nose and guppies or something, because they're not planted. They all see each other. You know, it's not done right as far as like how a sorority should be set up. So
but you know why they're doing that though.
Yeah.
They're doing that so people come in and buy 5 or 6 females.
I know,
mean,
but
it
what
sucks,
you end up
but
seeing is
they're beat up.
yeah, they're not doing good, or they're put in the tank with the wrong community fish.
You know, the worst thing is that we're never going to get every fish store to do everything the way we want them to do it. I mean, it's just not possible. They're doing the best they can. I have run into some lazy ass fish store owners, and it's unfortunate to see that, because you know things are not being done in there the way they should. Aquariums Unlimited, you know how many times she has had a talking with Mark? Like, hey, talk to John, let's build a beta system, let's do this. And I have told him that I would come up and help him. He said he wants to do that. He wants to build a beta system in there. Mm-hmm. But he's also said every time it comes up, he says, and it's true, I've been there while they've been doing it and I've watched them doing it. They do water changes of 100% in those cups every single day. So, even though it's still not the perfect scenario, it's as good a scenario as it can be given the circumstances. Yeah. Another reason why Mark's store is our favorite store, but it's unfortunate. It's never going to get done the way we demand that it be done. They're always going to have Oscars in 10-gallon tanks. They're always going to have flower horns in 10-gallon tanks. I mean,
Oscars in 10-gallon tanks. You're going to see probably 8 or 9 baby Oscars in 10-gallon tanks.
These guys came from, I don't know if they were in a 10-gallon, but we didn't buy them from a big box store. But no. It's rare to go into a fish store that they've done everything right. No, I shouldn't say everything right. It could be right, but everything isn't the way you would like it to be. Right. And that's just not, our store wasn't. I mean, and it's hard. It's probably never going to happen that you're going to find one that they do everything right. So it sucks. Being on both sides of that sucks. Yeah. Because I totally understand Sarah's frustration. I get it. I would be frustrated too. We would have done the exact same thing, because I can pretend that it's her, like, oh, she's a softie and she buys the ones that need help. But I'm a sucker for that too. I love it. I mean,
that's how I ended up getting Bubbles.
Exactly. I mean, we've gotten some great fish that way. And Bubbles was around for a couple of years, and he was amazing.
About a year and a half. But, you know,
He became our mascot.
yeah, I mean, I learned how to take care of him since he couldn't see, and it was an interesting way to feed him. And but you know what? He didn't die in a cup. He could have died in a cup, but I just learned how to take care of him, and yeah, he was a cool little fish.
My local fish store does a row of breeder boxes along the top of the tanks for them. See, there you go. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that we've seen it done. And, there's not going to be regulations by the government that's going to say you have to take care of betta fish this way. That's never going to happen. Nobody's ever going to do it perfectly. And if you think about it, none of us are doing things perfectly because we're keeping fish in glass boxes. So we kind of have to get over that part of it too. But, Sarah, I get it. I'm with you. I understand why you were frustrated. I'm frustrated too.
But at least you did something.
You tried, yeah.
Yeah, you tried. You did try. And that's more than a lot of people can say they've done. They can complain about it. They can say something in chat, in the live stream that, they see that at their store or whatever. But did they take the time to email the fish store and complain? You tried. So
now, as far as the response from the fish store, this is where I just have to be honest. I wouldn't take kindly to that email either.
But
The email that Sarah sent. I probably would not go overboard with my explanation either.
well, how can you argue that the water parameters were that bad?
Well, you can't. But the thing is, I would take offense
Should.
to someone telling me how to do my job.
That you're not doing your job, obviously.
Okay, you can say that in this hypothetical situation.
I'm just
but
saying.
If it was you, if you got an email that said, Lisa, you should start doing this with your snails. And I'm not saying you said it in that tone of voice, Sarah, but if somebody emailed you saying how you should do your job, you would take offense to that too. And you would process it for a little while, and then you would be sitting down one night and you'd be like, you know what? That person was right. But in the immediate reaction, you would be,
Offended,
and I know I would
yeah.
be, I'd be like,
offended, of course.
who does this person think they are? Did they know how hard I work? And I would have sent them a very brief explanation like that person did. And the thing is that the store, their response was pretty accurate. I mean, it's true. Sometimes you can have everything right and a fish will still end up dying in the care of a fish store. I mean, have you never, and I'm not saying Sarah, I'm saying anybody, haven't you seen a dead fish at a fish store before? It happens all the time, even at the best stores. And, even the ones that are doing everything right. So, I probably would have responded very similar. And then after a while, I would have been like, damn, we probably should have done better.
Yeah, like I said, if you're going to have a betta that's not in perfect condition out for sale and it looks like it's half dead, it should not be out, period, for other people to see. I'm not saying hide that you have a fish that's half dead, but it shouldn't be out there. It should be put in the back. It should be treated. Try to do the right thing the best that you can, but don't show people that, hey, this is okay.
Well, no,
That's the way it looks to me.
My response to that is, I remember a day at the fish store. You were not there that day, and it was a busy day. I think I had packed a bunch and shipped a bunch of fish that day, and it was just a crazy day. And I was at the counter ringing somebody up, and this dude was like 20, like this young guy, yells from across the store, "Hey, you got a dead fish over here?" I've never wanted to commit assault more than because I would never do that. I would never announce it to the whole place. There was only the customer that I was dealing with and them in there. It's not like we were at a store that had 75 people in there. But it was just like, come on, man, are you serious? I mean, really?
You know, I've been in pet stores and I've seen a dead fish, and I will
and said nothing.
I will just quietly go to whoever's working. Hey, just want to let you know, you might want to get that out of there. So.
And that would be the right way to do it, not announce it like, why didn't you just post it on social media? You might as well.
Having owned a fish store, that's why I do say things, because you don't want to leave it in there all day and then the other fish get sick or people leave because they see dead fish. Things happen once in a while. I get it, but yeah.
It's a slippery slope. That's all I'm going to say. I can see both sides. And, that day when that guy yelled that from the hilltops so that everybody could hear that I had a dead fish in one of the tanks, it pissed me off. It pissed me off because I missed it. Because it happened. I mean, come on. What do you want me to tell you? We never had a fish die the entire time we had our store. Come on. That would be a lie. And I'm not going to do that. It happened. But I would catch it. And I mean, I even had it before where I would grab one and then a customer would walk in and I'd be like, how you doing? It just, you're working on the tanks and you find one. It's like, oh man. And things happen and it sucks and it's terrible. But it just really bothered me that that guy had to make an announcement to everybody. So much so that 10 years later, I'm sitting here talking about it on a live stream. It bothered me. But there's nothing wrong with approaching somebody at the store and saying, hey, just to let you know over there, one of those yellow labs.
It's the right thing to do.
It's not a big deal, but to announce it like that is trifling. She could tell you, I despise being told things that the person who's telling me the thing knows that I already know.
Yeah.
I get on her for that all the time. And we've been together 16 years and she still does it. And it like, ugh.
Huh?
But, what?
What?
Who? I didn't tell him. I don't know what you're talking about. And also typing one letter a million times when you're 12 years old does not get you noticed by me, by the way.
Wow.
I'm so happy that you're a huge fan, but don't do that. Nobody likes that.
It's a good thing Nightbot isn't in here. You'd have been timed out.
And understand Zen's Fishing. If you're a huge fan, then you know I break people's balls. That's what I do. I'm a professional ball breaker.
Wow.
Great content, guys. I'm far from being a fry. I'm only a full-grown man, dadgummit. Yeah, so here's the thing, Matthew. When I set up, and I see Paul McCarthy and all, don't worry.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
When I originally set up channel memberships, I stupidly created tiers for it. There was the tier that was fry, and then juvies, and then adults, and there were different costs for the different levels. And I hated that because originally it was going to be that I offered different things for different levels, and it was just impossible to keep up with. So I got rid of the top two tiers. I cut everything down to the $5 membership level, and that was called Fry. And so I couldn't change it. I couldn't make that go away. YouTube wouldn't allow me. So everybody's Fry.
Everybody's Fry.
I suppose we could change it to like, I don't know, like Jason has the prime timers, and there would be, we could switch it to something, I suppose, but I think Fry's cute, so keep it in there.
Little KGs.
Paul McCarthy re-upped. That's Paul. 2 years. Welcome back. Thank you
back.
For all of the support. Finsanity, what's the purpose of a small tank for betas anyway? Well, I mean, betas want to be in small tanks. They feel more comfortable and all that. They don't want to be in cups.
Right.
But they spend probably the first 6 months of their life in tiny little vessels, either liquor bottles or the cups.
I think some betas get super stressed out if they go from a cup to a 20-gallon. They're like, whoa,
Yeah.
this is too much. But I think a 20-gallon long is perfect because they have more swimming space. You know, they don't want to have to swim up as much. They would rather swim side to side. So it's like if you had to choose a regular size 20-gallon or a 20 long, you should always choose a 20 long for a Betta. But a 5-gallon's fine too.
I mean, 5-gallon is what we recommend. It's almost like the perfect dwelling for a Betta. But you know, you can go bigger. We've had them in 125s. You got them in 75, right? No, you don't have any
Those
left
are
in there.
all guppies.
You didn't keep any of the females in there? It's all guppies?
No, I put them in different tanks.
Gotcha. Yeah. So anyway, Sarah, I believe it's Sarah Elizabeth. I appreciate the email. I understand your frustration. I too am frustrated. And I'm sorry to say it this way, but I also understand the side of the fish store. Doesn't make it right for the fish store. They made a mistake. They missed it, and shame on them for that. But it happens, and that's really all I can say about it. Oh man, whew! Ralph's Pizza coming back up. Not that kind of sick. I'm not that kind of sick. It was a burp. What do you want from me? Odin Aquatics. I'm buying a Betta from a chain store. Is buying a chain. Okay, all right.
I'll read it. Is
Thanks.
buying a Betta from a chain store a rescue?
No.
No. It's called purchasing a fish.
That's right. It's called buying a fish.
Yeah.
And it's a
for
great
this
thing.
Super chat, Odin Aquatics. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yes. Don't I recall him having a glorious beard in his?
I think so.
Isn't
yeah.
he the one? Where'd that go?
Yeah.
I'm trying to grow mine out more of like, what's his name called? What's he called? Come on.
You didn't tell me you were doing that.
No, I'm just trying to grow it here a little bit.
Oh.
Oh God, I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway, no, it's not. I've seen that. I've seen so many YouTubers and they're using Kratos, not ZZ Top. It's Kratos from God.of.W.
Not Jason.
Jason. So the thing is, Jason's goes straight down and it's glorious.
And it's like a square.
It's
almost.
glorious.
It's
I
it's
love
so
it.
funny.
But no, the Kratos one makes my face look skinnier. So that's where I'm going with that. If I grew a beard like Jason's, it looks good on him because he's like a fit MMA guy. I would look like a big fat lazy person with a
No,
nasty,
you would look
ugly
like
beard.
you were trying to copy Jason.
That's true. Or at that point, I could say he's copying me. I just recall going up to a very prominent YouTuber at one of the Aquashellas, who I will not name. This person was desperately trying to grow a beard, and it wasn't working out all that well. And I was finally able to do what I've always wanted to do, which is said, I see you've copied my beard.
Yeah.
And if you can tell me what that's from, well, you're not all that smart because it was only one of the most successful movies of all time. But I see you've copied my beard. And we got a good laugh out of that. But no, not Liver King or Santa Claus. Shame on all of you. No. It's Kratos from God.of.W. Come on. You know what I'm talking about. She doesn't. But Kratos, I'm still trying to fix
Is he the one that has
it.
the stones on his...
No, that's Thanos. I can understand why you missed it. And I can also understand that's the movie that I see you've copied my beard came from. So you don't know it, but you just guessed the movie. But it was Infinity War. Yeah, Stephen P. got it because Stephen P. is a big, giant nerd, and he knows those things. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do with the beard. And it's not going well because I'll never look as good as Kratos or Thanos, even though his chin looks like a ball sack. Matthew Plowden.
You got to get a glove with stones.
Yeah. I am KG Tropicals. But no, going back to Odin's Aquatics, I have seen the YouTubers do the videos. I rescued all the Bettas. I rescued all the... No, you didn't. You went to the store and bought them is what you did.
Yeah.
And that's just trying to
Oh.
get views. I don't blame them. I'm a YouTuber. I try to get views too.
I got a couple that are like that. You know, like the one, I forgot. There was, I think I have 2 videos similar to that, but
if they were all in a dumpster in the back of the pet store, yeah, you rescued them, like what happened at the Aquatic Experience. But if you went to the pet store and you bought them, you didn't rescue them. If they're feeder fish, you did.
oh,
Because you rescued them from being in the belly of a big ugly fish like these back here. But not,
and they're living their best life.
they sure are, now that they're not stuck in the rocks. Story from last week. This fish is fine now. It's totally fine. It was fine then. So,
It just got its tail pulled on.
yeah. Luke Abbott gifted a membership. Thank you so much for that, Luke.
you.
Matthew Plowden again. Is it Plowden or Plowden? I think Plowden. No problem.
think it's
Just
Plowden.
yanking your chain. Keep up the great content. I enjoy watching. Remind me of what? About the fry thing. Yeah. No, it's funny. And I wish I could change that, Matthew, but it is. We're all fry here. I'm a fry too. Lisa's a fry, literally a fry, because Roots and Whiskers is a member. Or is it Lisa
Really?
KG Tropicals?
Oh,
Thanks for your support.
Roots and Whiskers, yeah.
Thanks for the support
I have
of your own channel.
I have to pay to be a member of this channel, but anyway.
You don't have to. You choose to, because you're a good supporter.
Michelle Krugberg says asks how fast do mystery snails grow? Well, in my experience, they can grow pretty daggone fast.
Way faster than you think.
Exactly, but like if you keep the water a little cooler, you know, they're not going to want to eat quite as much, and it kind of slows down them growing a little. But you don't want to starve them or anything either, because you don't want the shell to get deficient and everything. But you know, it just depends on how much they eat, and the temperature has a lot to do with it too. I believe, in my experience, if it's warmer and you're taking care of the water and doing water changes if needed, depending on what kind of aquarium you have. If it's heavily planted, you probably don't need to do as many water changes, and the water's fine. But if it's like, you know, an aquarium and you have a mystery snail in there that doesn't have any plants, you're going to want to take care of that water. And they'll grow quickly depending on how you take care of them.
I know you didn't ask how big they grow. You asked how fast they grow. But let me tell you how big they grow.
They could grow pretty fast.
My dog, Reacher, her favorite thing in the world is a tennis ball.
Right.
And thank you, Whips World, by the way. He sent like a box of like 20 of them.
Yeah.
And I basically give her one. She would rather me give her one of those than a bone. Like, seriously, she loves them. She plays with them by herself. She throws them. It's hilarious. But she also destroys them.
Yes.
Like, not just rips all of the fuzz off of them.
She kills them.
She destroys them. Like, when it's just the rubber ball that's in the middle, she annihilates that too. And then I'm like, okay, here's another one. It's hilarious. But the reason why I bring that up is, first of all, to thank Whips World, because every day I got to be, okay, here's a new one. But there is a mystery snail in this tank back here that you can't see.
You can put it in the palm of your hand.
You can see it. It's right there. Look at that. The tank doesn't have the light on right there. That mystery snail right there is the size of a tennis ball. And I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
It is
And I bred
insane.
that one. That is a blue mystery snail. It's grown up in that tank. So
They get way, and it's almost like, whoa, when you see how big they are. It's insane. But yeah. Odin's Aquatics, $2 super chat. Missed you guys. Been laying low over here. Yeah, we've missed not seeing your glorious beard too. That's the beard guy, right? He is the guy. Didn't he have that? I'm pretty confident.
Yeah,
and I met him
yeah.
at one of the Aquashellas, and he asked me a question that I
Yeah.
did not know the answer to.
Yeah, I remember.
See, I
Yeah.
remember things.
It just takes you a while sometimes.
Shamu Aquatics with the $10 super chat. I was really hoping Aquashella would come to Southern California, but not Los Angeles. I was hoping for Orange County or San Diego, not
I
LA.
was hoping too for San Diego. It's so nice. San Diego's so beautiful.
I have heard nothing but beautiful things about San Diego. I mean, and San Diego, a whale's vagina. is what it means.
Oh. That's from
San
a movie.
San Diego is the mecca of skateboarding. So I have always wanted to go to San Diego and go knock on Tony Hawk's warehouse door and see if him or Jason will let me in. Maybe Bucky's there. I mean, Jimmy's always there. I know all those guys. I've known them for a long time. They're really good friends of mine, and maybe they'll let me in. I've never met any. Well, I met Bucky, but I've never met any of the other guys.
Whatever. But the coolest part about San Diego is driving slightly north because
La Jolla, right? La Jolla Beach?
La Jolla, yeah. With the
Seals.
Seals. Oh, I even took a selfie with a seal. You're not supposed to get that close, but I was like this, and I took a picture. It just stinks really bad there. But I went, every time I go, and, well, I'd leave San Diego and I'd go there because it's just the coolest place ever. I love them.
Somebody said fish in a dumpster. Really? Yeah. So I don't know the exact story, and I don't know who it was that did it. I think I might know, but I'm not going to say. And it's not that it was a mystery. Like, it's known who did this, but I don't know exactly who it was. I think I know, but I don't want to say in case I'm wrong. But yeah, at the end of the aquatic experience, they just didn't feel like dealing with all these betas, so they just left them and went away. They were giving betas away as prizes to kids. Don't do that ever. And they didn't give them all away, so they just left them. And I believe Bob Steenfot took all, if not most, of them. And I don't know anything about the story from there, but I know that was I didn't know about that at the time. If we knew about it, we would have taken them because we drove.
Yeah.
And so we could have done something with them, but I didn't know that happened. And that sucks. And shame on the people that did that. Yeah. Mel Boogie with the $5 super chat. Hey guys, the big move is next week, Texas to Georgia. There's snow next week in Georgia, apparently. Sorry about that. Super worried, but I think my plan is going to work out. Placing a plant order once we're settled. Awesome. Listen, Mel, just take it easy.
Yeah, don't stress.
It is snow in Texas next week. Okay. Yeah, there better not be snow. There better not be snow here. I'm going to write a letter to somebody or at least send an email.
It's supposed to snow in King George on Sunday.
Well, I don't care about snowing in King George.
We're going to be there.
Oh. Yeah, that's not going to be good.
That's not good.
I know it's easy for me to say, Mel, because I'm not the one that's moving. But the best thing to do is to just set yourself up. I know we've already talked about what you should do and all of that kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure we talked about that in a past one, so I'm not going to go through the whole process, but I'm just saying, if you get yourself set up properly where you know the fish are secure, then just don't worry about them. Do your checks, pull over every once in a while, check on them, all that kind of stuff, but just don't stress, because if you're stressed, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to drive too fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, being stressed out makes bad things happen. So
yeah, I mean,
keep calm and everything will be fine.
Are you going to have them in the back of a U-Haul or in a vehicle, a van or something? Because just the most important thing is to keep the heat on.
Yeah, I mean, especially now. Like, usually you would be thinking, well, if you're going from Texas to Georgia, at least you won't have to worry about the temperature. Well, not the week that Mel decided to move.
Right.
And that sucks because we moved in May from Virginia, which is, decent weather in May.
Oh, that was crazy.
To North Carolina, which is supposed to be really nice in May, and normally it is. But of course, that weekend, it was super chilly and rainy, drizzly.
I wore a hat and everything. Oh my gosh, that was the craziest. Oh my gosh, all those fish and
Mel.
We had fish everywhere.
Mel, go like this for a minute. Just for a minute. I don't want you to hear what I'm about to say. Yeah. Okay. So Mel, just push mute.
Earmuffs.
Maybe walk away for a second.
Earmuffs.
That was the worst day of my life.
It was the absolute worst. I mean, by the time we got everything in the U-Hauls and the van and
I don't
the
think
back.
we even left Virginia till like 5.
Oh my gosh. And then we had Whip and Eric Furlow and everybody here waiting for us. And then they went out to eat. And it was like just insane. And then I drove back to Virginia that night.
You did?
At like 3 a.m. Oh, it was the worst day. And it was Mother's Day. And I remember I didn't get home until probably 5 o'clock in the morning. And I slept forever.
I went to bed at like 4. Whip's World and Eric Furlow they were here. Eric Furlow gave me that ornate biker,
Yeah.
which is over there. You can't see him right now. Her head is blocking him.
Sorry.
Still one of the best gifts I've ever gotten. But the fact that y'all came, Whip, you too, that was an unbelievable gift.
And
we didn't finish in this room until 3:30 a.m.
And when we say like U-Haul, it was the biggest U-Haul you could possibly get, and we still didn't bring everything down because we had to, we ended up bringing
one of the 90 gallon and a 75.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just the big tanks. You had the nano tanks in your car. It was the worst day ever. But look at what we've got. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
I'm willing to guess, Mel, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm willing to guess you probably don't have all the big tanks and stuff like we have that made it such a huge hassle. Maybe you do. Yeah. And if you do, then I'm sorry to tell you, you're in for a wild ride. It was rough.
And then no, that was not the day that we brought the animals down. So no, I did not try to pack up the feral raccoons and possums to bring. The next time we came down with the cats, that was another experience. Bringing 7, I have 5. How many cats? I had, oh my God, so many cats in crates, and one peed everywhere, one vomited, the other one constantly cried the whole time. And I just was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I never want to move with cats again. But yeah.
Yeah, I had the 2 dogs with me. Where was Roxy?
Kenzie? Did Kenzie bring Roxy?
Probably. No, because they met us. Who cares? No, Kenzie was with us, but
no,
Alec
that
brought us
wasn't
here.
with the fish tanks. That was a totally different day.
No,
'Cause
Alec was here to help with the tanks.
I know, but we didn't bring the dogs down until like a month later.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Mel responded, I'm trying, wrote you guys an email about it, both tanks and SUVs in an SUV in totes. Unfortunately, it wasn't my choice. Army don't care about timing. Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. But if you're 2 tanks, dude, that's a breeze.
Yeah.
That's a breeze. And they're inside your SUV, which means temperature isn't going to be an issue. You're good, bro.
Yeah,
Seriously.
you're going to be fine. You'll be fine.
I don't remember the last time I called somebody bro, and I don't know why I called you bro. It just came out of my mouth, and I feel weird about it. But 2 tanks, man, that's nothing. That's easy. Easy peasy. Don't stress about it. It's going to be stressful, but just don't allow yourself to be super stressed about it, because then you can make mistakes.
And then Dragon Dad here, he decides to be like, hey, we moved from Massachusetts to North Carolina, and all I did was write a check.
Well,
Yeah.
Dragon Dad, let me tell you what you
Must
are.
be nice to be Dragon Dad.
You are a smart person.
Yes.
This guy right here, a big dumb person.
Yeah.
I am one of those idiots that says, I'm not going to call a guy to do something that I'm capable of doing. However,
Oh gosh, we will never move fish tanks again. I will pay somebody.
I told her, if we ever move from this property, I'm doing what you did, Dragon Dad. I ain't moving a damn thing except my damn self.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I'm not bringing nothing.
Y'all need to go up there and pack my drawers. You need to pack my socks, my underwear. Well, that's my drawers, but my pants, my dirty laundry basket. Y'all put that in boxes. I'm not packing a damn thing, because it was the worst. I mean, and it wasn't just the fish tanks. It was the fish tanks and then everything else. It was
I
horrible.
feel like I just want to restart. Like, just sell everything and get in my car and
My
leave.
sister did that, and that's so smart.
Like, you can keep it all. You can keep everything.
Do what
And-
Lucas Bretz did.
Yeah. Just
Yep.
everything. All of it. Furniture, the stuff in the kitchen. You can keep that roll of toilet paper that's still in the bathroom.
You can keep
I
my dirty
don't
laundry
care.
basket.
I don't care. I will pack my suitcase, get my cats, and John, and the dogs too, I guess. And,
Oh, well, thanks. I'm glad we could come.
and then go. And then we'll just buy a new house and shop for furniture. I mean, that's the dream if we had to do it again. I don't want to move. I'm fine with being here as long as the weather gets better, but
Jerry Goebel moved from New Jersey to North Carolina with a cat that cried the whole way. That's how Reno is.
was that Leo?
I'm
was
so glad that I was not in the vehicle that Reno was in, because
No, Reno, gosh, I'm trying to remember.
Reno's the one that throws up.
Reno throws up. It was one
Honey.
of them. Honey,
Honey peed.
I don't know, was it? I know, I think, it might have been Carl that, I don't remember, but it was so bad. And you know Reno, he's so drama.
He threw up. You probably weren't even out of the neighborhood yet. And he, the sound. Oh God, it's horrible.
And then the meowing and.
When I came down with the Chihuahuas, because I was down here for 2 weeks before she came down, but I went up the following. It doesn't matter. When we finally all moved down and I brought the Chihuahuas with me, I put their little bed. I was in a 26-foot U-Haul again and put them in. No, that was the one that was a 15-footer with the trailer.
No, I was with you at that one.
Okay. But
We did a lot of trips
I
here.
put their little bed between the two seats, and the Chihuahuas slept the whole way. They were perfect. It was silence the whole way.
Wow, lucky you.
But the day of the aquarium moves, I mean, I got to tell you, we're blessed to have the friends that we did that day. We're blessed to have the family that we did that day, that were all of these people were willing to come down here. We had family come from Virginia. You had Whips World come from Chicago.
Eric
Came from Florida, Southern Florida. I mean, if it wasn't for all of that, I don't know what we would have done, because you damn sure couldn't help me. Nobody could have helped me. Like, it would have still been in the truck.
Yeah.
We would have been paying for a U-Haul this whole time, because there's no way I would have been able to get it out of there.
Jeez.
It was, yeah, I do not want to do that again. I like the idea, if we have to, when Elon Musk gives us half of his fortune, I've heard he's thinking about doing that to me, because I had so many good things to say about Starlink. He might give me half of his. So we
I
might.
didn't have anything good to say about Starlink.
We might be worth $100 billion soon.
I don't think so. I think Starlink sucks. Anyways,
you just ruined it. We had $100 billion.
I don't really care.
If I had that kind of money, I would do that. I would just find somebody that wants to buy it all, and then we just move ourselves. I like
mean,
that.
Mel has even bigger problems. 4 dogs, 3 cats, 4 kids, and a wife too. And a wife. He says, and a wife
Oh,
too.
Lord have mercy, Mel.
I don't know.
See, now I feel for you.
Because you're like, what do you mean, and a wife too? Because
He didn't mean it. No, I'm going to look out for you, Mel. He didn't mean it like that. He was just like listing everything off. And the wife too. Like, he didn't mean it like that.
I mean, if you mean it like how I am about, and John too, I totally get it.
He's
But-
not a mean person like
But
you.
I think your wife probably is a good person. So, I mean, obviously,
Listen.
she's the one that has the 3 cats.
She lets him have 2 tanks and 4 dogs.
Yeah,
She's obviously a good person.
obviously.
Listen, let's talk about true or false. Do we have one? We do. Let's do true or false. Let's play a little game of true or false.
False.
This is true.
This is false.
This is true. Kinda.
How dare you? This is definitely false.
This is true.
Ding, 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 ding. True.
It's not true. It's bullshit.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Name both movies that were featured in that, chat. One super easy. The other one, not as much, but you still should know from all the memes. The true or false statement today was You can have a planted tank and not use fertilizer in a bottle. This one came up with that. Again, she comes up with all of our true or false. Are they questions? I don't know. True or false questions. 71% of the 504 people that participated in this voted true. 5% voted false. And 24% voted depends on the situation. Now I have a question for y'all. There we are. Yeah, everybody's getting the A Few Good Men, one of the best movies ever made. And then Mama Bear got The Room. Yeah, that's the best movie that's ever been made, is The Room. I'll say it to your face. But here's the question that I have. And I wouldn't have asked this before, but now that I know that you all can see the results, it makes me wonder why those 5% voted. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I go on a true or false and I'm like, well, I think it's false, but whoa.
Well, they don't put your name.
I know, but I'm saying, if I look at that, I'm like, well, it's obviously not false. It has to be either true or depends on the situation. There's no way I would vote false. Maybe those people did before it got out of control. I don't know.
Fertilizer is fish poop.
It's true. But listen, you can only see results after you vote. That makes sense. Okay. Thank you, Stephen P. Yeah. All right. See, I didn't know that. That makes way more sense. So what you're saying is the people were like, oh, that's definitely false. Let me click that. And oh.
No, let me go put true.
Yeah.
I'm changing
Can I
it to
change my
true.
answer?
And you can.
So, okay. Here's the thing. It's true. But
I thought you were going to say, however.
the thing is, if you have a brand new tank, and we've all done it, we've all set up brand new tanks. Otherwise, well, that's just weird. You set up a brand new tank and you decide you want to use plants in the very early stages, and you want to, use the plants to kind of help get the cycle going and do all of that kind of stuff. And there's no fish in there, or even if there are fish in there and you're doing a fish in cycle, I'm not going to criticize you for that. I've done it a million times. There's nothing for the plants to eat.
Unless you do a, like a Wallstead method, and you have your potting soil, which has all the nutrients and stuff in it, and you cap it with sand, those plants are going to thrive in that soil. So
That's very true. So what you're saying is it depends on the situation.
I guess so.
If you have a brand new tank that has nothing for the plants to feed on because there has not been a lot of activity, there hasn't been a lot of fish pooping in there, there hasn't been a lot of stuff going on in there, and you have plants that feed from the water column, then you certainly do. You don't have to, and in a lot of cases, the plants will still be fine. They might not grow really big, really fast, but they'll probably still grow. So you don't necessarily have to, but a good idea would be to, in that situation, because the plants have nothing, give them some fertilizer. Now, if you're starting up a brand new tank and you put the fluval stratum in there, or the Tropica soil, or the Brightwell, or whatever you're using, and you put all of those plants in there and they're all stem plants, well, the liquid fertilizer is going to do a little, but not as much.
It's going to cause an algae outbreak.
You would want to use root tabs in a situation like that. But if it's a bunch of...
Or fish poop.
Yeah, I suppose
That's
you
what
could do
I've
that.
done. I've used fish poop, or I've actually used a dead fish before.
Yes, you certainly have. B.W.L says...
Without cycling it with a fish in it is what I'm saying. I did a planted aquarium, and I used, excuse me, a dead fish that, sorry, I'm okay. A dead fish that I had found that was in John's African cichlid tank. And it was very unfortunate So I just went ahead and I kind of like the circle of life with the fish, and I put it down in the substrate. And
That was the best root tab ever.
That was the best root tab ever. And that
Plants are still growing in that tank.
no, that it's not doing as well now, but
Yeah, where'd they all go? What'd you do?
it's just not. I don't want to talk about it. That was a long time ago.
We don't show that tank.
That was a long time ago. But yeah, the roots just started growing and doing really good, but I didn't put any fish in there for a long time. And it was way down in the substrate. It was not exposed to the water. So, but yeah, those plants took off.
So we've got some good responses here in the chat, starting with Whiff's World, but isn't aqua soil basically using fertilizer because it's, fertilized? Sure, it absolutely is.
True.
Which again means that you should have voted depends on the situation. Matthew Knowlton and B. Wood said root tabs are a good way to start. You should start with root tabs, don't need liquid. Again, you're right if it's the right kind of plants. If you have Anubias that are way up on top of a rock, a root tab ain't going to do jack you know what for those plants.
Right. It's just a waste of money.
So again, it depends on the situation. So all of these scenarios that we keep talking about all go back to it depends on the situation. So in my opinion, the correct answer is depends on the situation.
yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't mean that the people who voted true are wrong. It just means my answer is different. I think they're both right.
But once you have an established planted aquarium, and if all your plants are in the substrate, and you don't,
That's the thing. We didn't say a new aquarium.
yeah, like, then you don't need to siphon the substrate. Let that poop just get down in there
And
be
you
the
know what?
fertilizer.
You know what? Because you just clarified that, I'm going to change my answer because I think true is probably the right choice here. You can have a planted tank and not use fertilizer in a bottle. That's 100% true. Because we didn't stipulate the different factors that could be involved. So if we had stipulated a brand new tank or whatever, then it would 100% be depends on the situation. I think both of those answers are right. There you go. How
I'm
dare
not-
you? I'm
I'm not
never
a-
wrong.
If I'm going to use a fertilizer for something, I would go with a root tab, if anything. Because there are some plants.
But you wouldn't for Anubias or
I
Bucephalandra or Java
understand
fern.
that if you let me talk.
No, you don't let me talk. Ever. You interrupt me every time.
What I'm trying to say is there are certain plants that need a little bit more fertilizer than others when it comes to, putting the roots in the substrate. The Amazon swords are a good example. They need more, fertilizer. So those are some that I'd say, yeah, you should probably put root tabs in there. But you're wasting your money and your time if all your plants are planted in the substrate and you're putting in, a liquid fertilizer. All you're doing is, in my opinion, feeding the algae and having a worse problem. I'm not a fan of liquid fertilizer. I mean, even
And we
my,
sell like 5 of them.
and my Anubias do perfectly fine without it.
I mean, the fact is, in an established tank, you shouldn't need fertilizers.
No, not
That's
even.
even just when you put them in, you shouldn't need them.
Yeah.
But again, I go back to the brand new tank, setting it up from scratch like all the aquascapers do and stuff like that. They're going to squirt some fertilizer in there. They're going to put some root tabs down in there to get things started because there's nothing for the fish
I
to
mean,
feed
why
on.
do people
the
put
plants to
pothos?
feed on.
Why do people put pothos in an aquarium? It helps with, the nitrates and all that kind of stuff. So why would you put an Anubias in there and fertilize it when it's doing the exact same thing?
Listen, lady, you came up with the true or false question, and you didn't say, what about people that, you didn't say you can have planted tanks and not fertilize in the bottle, especially if you have pothos in there.
Okay.
Geez, you want to be more specific, maybe come up with a more specific true or false question.
Okay, it's going to be a really long one next week.
Y'all are going to have to read a paragraph to do that. But yeah, listen, I mean, I don't really think there is a wrong answer on that one, except for false. I don't think false is the correct answer there. So listen, do you want to do a giveaway? I have it in the title, so technically by law,
Ooh.
we have to.
Hold on.
And you're not allowed to give away the same thing you give away every time. People are sick of getting all of that for free. Northfin again. Why? Because it's the best. And we have it. That's the other reason why. Give away snails? Is that what you're saying?
No.
I don't think we're going to do that. Because it's not the time of year to do that. I don't know who it is. Somebody, I believe the name is Evan Keller, keeps putting in the chat just the word active. And thank you, Evan, because every time that happened, I was like, oh yeah, we need to do the giveaway. So
Okay.
I see what you're doing there, and it's smart.
I picked some random stuff. I just did it because I can and I wanted to do it.
Perfect. It's yours, so you might as
Right.
well do what you want to do.
And I believe, yep, I use all this stuff in my own fish room. So,
Every single bit of it.
nano bits.
And that's the big bag. That's the 100 gram, 80 gram bag of nanobits. We don't even have these on the website yet. We need to get them.
Oh, yeah.
We have the small bags. We don't have the big ones.
Krill Pro 2 millimeter. You can feed this to discus. You can feed it to African cichlid. You can feed it to community.
Literally anything you want.
Larger community fish, probably. Yeah, angelfish. I feed it to my snails. I literally feed it to my snails because it has protein in it, and the protein is good for their shells. And Bug Pro, because everybody needs Bug Pro.
I'm going to tell you all this.
And guppies like Bug Pro too.
When I talked about this earlier, it was in the very beginning. There was only like 100 and something people in here. Listen, not this Monday. I want you to subscribe, and I want you to listen or watch every episode of the Tank Talk podcast. Of course I do. However, 3 weeks from now is when we're going to have the owner of Northfin on the podcast. We've already done the episode. It's already been recorded, but that's when it will air, if you will. That's when it'll publish and be live.
And it's going to be a really good one. I know it, and I haven't even seen it.
It is
I've
a
heard it.
fantastic interview. It really is, because you get to learn the story behind the brand, and you get to see Darius, the owner of the company. You get to see his reaction when I ask him the question, why is it that you are the only one that's allowed to use the extruder machine? That's how picky he is. And what I mean by that is the owner of Northfin is the one that made the food that's in this bag right here. And the food that's in this bag.
His son bags it. It's a
It's a
just
family operation.
It's wonderful, and it's like there's nobody else selling fish food that does it like that.
No. Darius used to work in the food processing industry. And I did not know this until we did this interview. I asked him because he built the extruder machine that makes these pellets. He sourced all the parts, you know what I mean? He didn't like physically build it, but he bought this from there and that from there and put it all together exactly the way he wanted it, because he knew from his years of doing that type of work. Y'all can stop guessing numbers. It's not numbers, but it's fun. You can do that. But so that means so much to me. Not that fish food brands that order their food from other manufacturers and bring, not that that's a bad thing. It's not. I mean, that's how the overwhelming majority of the industry does it. But that's not only the fact that it is an amazing food and all of our fish love it. It's just that story behind it. It just gets me every single time. Darius and his family, they're originally from Lithuania, so he does have a very strong accent, but he's not hard to understand. The only issue with the interview, is it Kevin Bacon? What? I love Kevin Bacon. Who doesn't? Darius doesn't do these things all that often. So he was talking like somebody who's never done this kind of thing. And he's like kind of talking really loud, but it's not going to come across as bad. It's not like he's yelling, how dare you? You know, it's not like that. It's more like He's just talking really loud because he wasn't sure what to do with his hands while we were talking. So, but it's a really good interview. And I think we're going to end up having him on again because we couldn't get it all. I mean, there's so much to talk about with that man. And
his wife is super sweet too.
She absolutely is. All right, so here's how it works, folks. The reason why Evan Keller has been putting in, and let me make sure Evan Keller's name is in there because I'm not going to do this giveaway until I make sure his name. Yep, there it is. Okay.
We see you, Evan.
Now listen, I wish I could share my screen. Y'all need to understand how this works. I open up Nightbot and I go to the giveaway page and it shows all of the people that have been active in the chat, which is why Evan Keller kept saying active, because he wanted to make sure that he was in on this. If you've put something into the chat over the course of the last 20 minutes or so, you are automatically entered to win this giveaway. The only stipulation is you do need to be a United States resident. If this website happens to pick Evan Keller, I promise you no one's been picked yet. It will display it on the chat when it's picked. I'm not doing it on purpose because he kept reminding me. I'm just telling you, the system picks somebody randomly that has been, I really hope he wins, but it's going to be so weird if he does because it's going to seem like I picked him. But I am literally clicking a button that says choose a winner, and I'm picking it right now. I'm sorry, Evan, it's not you. It is Rumsey 79. You will see that pop up in the chat. There it is. Congratulations, Rumsey. Sorry, Evan. But you know, Evan, it would have been weird if it did pick you.
Oh, that would have been so funny, though.
There's no way I would have been able to explain my way out of that, Evan. I would have had to pick a second one because, yeah, that would have been. In fact, let's give the same thing to Evan Keller. Why not? Why wouldn't we do that?
No, you cannot do
Yes,
that.
we can
No,
because
you
I'm a
can't.
nice person.
That's not fair.
It is fair.
That
Because
is
it's
not-
my channel and your channel, it's ours,
Then
and we can do whatever we want to
everybody in
do.
there deserves one.
No, I've been talking about him this whole time. I can't change my mind now.
Nothing personal. Nothing personal. It's just,
Just remember that, Evan.
it's nothing personal, Evan. I like to keep things fair.
See, Ted Riggs said it is fair,
All right.
and
well,
it's true.
If Ted said it is what it is. Then.
John, I give away what I want. That's right. Sometimes you got to put that boot down. I'm wearing boots because my feet have been popsicles the last few nights. So Rumsey 79, I'm going to need you to put something in the chat letting us know that you received that. Otherwise, Evan Keller is getting your prize. If you put something in the chat acknowledging that you are here and that you do live in the United States, Evan, you better live in the United States. This is going to get real weird if you don't. If you don't say something, then how am I supposed to know you're here and you live in the United States and you are in fact the winner?
Oh, are we
He
still
does live
looking?
in the United States. I'm just looking to see that Rumsey 79 says something. Like, come on, dude. If you're driving down the road, I understand. But yeah, there he is. And he's a member. Look at that. How perfect is that? Yes. Not that you need to be a member. That just makes it easier. All right. So listen, Rumsey 79 and Evan Keller, both of you, I need you to email me at kgtropicals@gmail.com. Give me your information. If you are someone who has ordered from us in the past, you can just say you've already got my information. It's right there.
Joseph Clements is here too.
Oh, you are here. Hello there. Good. I'm glad you're here.
That's so funny.
So there we go. We got 5 minutes to kill. You got some thank yous to do.
I have some thank yous. Okay, so I want to thank Robert Wayman, Joe Provenzano, and Jerry Goebel and Ann for sending kitty stuff. I really appreciate it. It's like, I'm just like really happy about that because, you know, Jerry and Ann, they send me a monthly thing of food, in memory of their cat who passed away, Leo. And
Aw.
it's so, so sweet, and I appreciate it very much. And I even have a stray cat that I have not caught yet, and it looks, well, they had said that it looked like Leo, so I named it Leo. If I see it, it doesn't come around that much, and because I don't have the spot 100% ready for cats yet in the barn, I didn't want to take any more in because I'm at capacity right now. But once I do, I plan on trapping her or him, hopefully. Also, Robert Wayman, thank you for that cot, because that was really cool. I didn't know if anybody would like get that or whatever. If you hadn't sent it, I was going to eventually get it for myself to put back there, because it's going to help keep like the beds from being on the floor, because the floor of the barn is a little drafty, so it's such a huge help. And also Joe Provenzano, thank you so much for all of those kitty beds.
Yeah, we opened up the box. There's like 10 kitty beds in there. It's like, what?
I had no idea either. I was like, I thought I already got your box of stuff, you know, and it like came 5 or 6 days later. I was like, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting that. So, and Jerry Goebel sent a couple beds too. So it's like, they're good to go now for beds. I am
they're
so
spoiled.
Yeah, I am so excited about that.
I can't wait for you to start making videos again about
know.
those cats. Let me get to these super chats here. Zen's Fishing. I don't know if we got to that. Thank you so much, Zen's Fishing. And thank you, Zen Ginger, too, just because we always thank you. Tony Romig. I still want to say Tony Romo. I think I've said that before. Been a while. Miss you guys. Commanders killing it. As a Cowboys fan, still cheering them on. Love Daniels. He is from my city.
Oh.
Much love. That kid is something else. I remember streaming on draft night, and I remember saying, oh, they got James Daniels. Okay. All right. That's cool. I had no idea he was going to change the NFL the way he has. This one hasn't watched 1 second of football this year. I haven't watched 1 second of football. Well, I did. I watched the first 2 games last year and gave up. But this year has been...
up 10 years ago.
Oh,
I used
it
to
has
love
been
football,
something else. I tell you, it's been something else. That kid is special. And finally, we've got that guy. I know, Joe, you've got that guy too. But finally, my team has that guy. We had a guy like that for a very brief moment in 2012, and then it went away. And so now we've got him, and it's amazing. And I am so, so thrilled. Your Redskins are doing great. Hey, you're not allowed to say that word anymore. They'll always be that to me because it's been in my brain my entire life. ICJ, the plants I received today look great. I bought plants from local stores, and they're not close to the ones I received today.
Oh,
Well, there's nothing better that we could ever hear. That's amazing. I love that. Especially this time of year. That a lot of times we get plants in, and by the time they sell, they will have doubled in size. But because it's so cold, they're not really doing that. They're growing a little bit, but it's not like the barn is freezing, but it's not naturally as warm as it would be during the summer. I mean, it's like 83, 84 degrees in there in the summer. So they just explode. And a lot of times you can get them and they barely fit in the bags. I love that. It's not as extreme at this time of year, but they're still big. And the fact that you like them that much makes me very happy. ICJ, thank you for that. So that's it. It's 9 o'clock and Jason and Joanna are live.
Oh.
What?
Dennis McKelvey said he got his today too, and they're fantastic.
Beautiful. Mine to be delivered tomorrow. See, look at this. Look at all of these happy people getting plants. I love it. It's amazing. It's been a great night.
And
I've had so much fun.
You guys need to email so we know.
Evan Keller and somebody 79. I forget.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Rumsey 79.
Rumsey 79.
Don't forget. Yeah, email us, kgtropicals@gmail.com.
That way I can get it out tomorrow for you because I do all the orders on Fridays.
Which is why Matthew Knowlton's didn't get shipped out until today.
No, that is not why.
I'm breaking your balls too. It's fun.
That is not why. And you know it's not.
I know.
You
I
didn't,
was
you didn't print the order out for me last Friday.
blame it on me. See, you got to blame it on somebody all the time. Anyway, listen, this has been a lot of fun. Say goodbye to everybody.
I'm just kidding.
I know you are. You hurt my feelings.
I don't mean to
You're
hurt
a-
your feelings.
You're in the doghouse now, not me.
No, I'm not. Anyways, whatever. Thank you, mods. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, everybody, for being here, whether you were lurking, participating in chat, or whatever. Thank you for the super chats and the memberships. Again, we appreciate you. Have a wonderful weekend and try to stay warm wherever you are. Be safe.
It's so hard.
Be safe. Go see Primetime.
Yep. Don't click anything. We'll just send you right over there. Have a good night, y'all.
Bye.